Hello everyone, Mango here. This is part 2 of our series about backing up your forums, restoring your forums, and upgrading myBB. We're using Portal as an example game, so let's go ahead and get started. Portal is using myBB 1.6, which is the older version of Portal. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go into Admin, and we can see they're using the older version. You're going to want to do your database backup, like we described in the other tutorial, and do your file backup, again, described in the previous video. You're then going to want to go into your configuration and turn off your forum while you're doing the move or the merger, just so people don't accidentally add things. If you haven't already turned that on and off, in general, you should always turn your board on and off whenever you're doing any sort of maintenance, just so people don't mess you up. You can use the htaccess file if you know how to do that, but this works good most of the time. So the next thing you're going to need is to find the upgraded version of myBB. So if you go on your admin page, it tells you what the latest release is and what your current release is. If you're only a few points behind, you don't need to do a full upgrade, but when you are significantly behind like this board is, you're going to need to do a full one. So you can go to mybb.com and go to download. You can see the latest version is 1.8.4. The 1.6 series is still available, which is what some people prefer to use, but for now we're going to want to download the 1.8.4. They have an installation guide, which is very good, and I definitely recommend you use this whenever you need to check things. So this is the general installation, which is what most people don't do. I usually set that up for everyone, but you will want to know how to, oops, there it goes. You will want to know how to upgrade. So this is just, this is under documentation. Upgrade is where I went. So they recommend that you turn your board off, do your backups, and then disable the plugins. This is because your plugins are likely not to work. I want to go to my fake version of Portal so I don't mess anything up. But I already did that. Never mind. So you would go, you would go to your configuration. Beg your pardon. Where are we? I lied. So yeah, I clearly haven't actually used the plugins in a while. It's under configs, thank you. So you're going to want to deactivate all these. You don't need to uninstall them, you just want to turn them off for the time being. A lot of the 1.6 forum plugins are not going to work in 1.8. So definitely go ahead and do that. For the purposes of this demo, I have not turned off the plugins because I want to see what kind of great error message we get. But you really should do it. Turn them off and then turn them on one at a time to see where your conflicts are coming from. So they then say you need to download your package as appropriate. So if you are requiring a full upgrade, you need the latest version. If you just want the changed files version, you can go to the blog post section and they will offer you the smaller step-up version that just have the files of interest. But the process is the same no matter which version you're using. So you can see I downloaded a second copy. So you have the 1.8.4. You can extract that, and this is what it looks like inside. So there's the documentation, which is everything we already know, and then the upload folder, which is everything that actually has to go on the server. So this is just like uploading your plugins. You're going to want to get all this stuff to match up with what is on your server already, and it's going to overwrite only the files which are in this folder. So all your images, style sheets, etc. will stay intact. Alrighty, so you're going to go straight on over to your FileZilla. You're going to go to your forum, which I already have open, and you're going to go into your upload folder. And if I swap it like that, you can see these two match up. That is how it's supposed to look. You do not want to drag and drop the upload folder because that would be basically like fileception and it would not work out. You want to go into upload, select all, and then drag and drop. For the purposes of this tutorial, I've actually already done that, so we'll just pretend that I've dragged and dropped and everything's been overwritten. So when you get the dialog box that says, do you want to override, you want to say yes. When you go into install, you will see a file here which says lock. I've actually already deleted it, but we can go inside the real portal and install and lock. This is the folder that you're looking for. So lock is what prevents people from going into your install directory again and overwriting your forum. So go ahead and just click on that and delete it. I won't do that because that's the real portal. We want to use the fake portal, which is up here. And I can see that my lock is gone. So you're then going to want to go to your forum. So whatever your URL is, forum /install. And if you have neglected to delete the lock, it'll come up with an error. Otherwise, you should get this screen. So what we've done so far, just to recap, is we already had 1.6 or previous version installed on the server. We downloaded the fresh copy of myBB, we overwrote it, and now we've gone into the install to start the wizard. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade our existing copy. So we want to keep our database, keep our threads, users, etc. And let's see what happens. So, yep, we're using older version of myBB. So now it is changing how the database, how your actual users and posts are configured. It's optimizing things. Ooh, look at that. Good job. We're updating our IP. Got some new themes for us to use. We do not want a pin because we don't care. We're updating the database a bit more. So you can see this is pretty darn straightforward. Just keep pressing next until we get to the end. Interesting. Okay, so that's what happens sometimes. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but I just deleted the lock forum, or the lock file again. Ooh, so that's unfortunate. So it looked like it kind of half-baked my installation. Oh, that's tragic. So what I did was I said I'm still running 1.6, even though it half thinks I'm running 1.8. So I think it's going to come up with a great big error. And this is why it's great to download your files in your database. So if you mess up like I am right now, it's no big deal. You can always just make a duplicate and start over. So I'm really not stressing out about this. I'm just really curious to see what kind of errors I get. So once you do finally get upgraded to 1.8, you're probably going to have to change a few more settings. You're going to want to update. What is going on? Interesting. I'm going to leave it at 1.8 and see what happens. This is just so bizarre. But this is what happens sometimes. Again, don't stress about it. You just got to play with it till it works. So in the documentation, they describe going ahead and doing the upgrade, which looks pretty straightforward. Ah, there it was. Yeah, so I don't know how that quite happened, but we finished being upgraded to 1.8. So just out of curiosity, let's see what it looks like. Oh, it almost looks the same, apart from a few CSS glitches. So that's okay. So let's, whoops, mango. So now you can see you're in the new version of myBB 1.8. It looks a bit fresher. It's just look at our plugins. Yeah, interesting. So here's an example of account switcher does not work in 1.8. So we're getting this great error here, which comes from the fact we didn't. Yeah, here it is again. So this is an example of what happens when you don't deactivate your plugins at the start, because now it's trying to run and nothing's connected. It's like a rat's nest of connectivity. So I can't really do anything here. So that would be an example. I don't actually know. How would I fix this? You might actually have to fix this, so let's try. So all of your plugins are going to be in Ink plugins. And here we go. Okay, so Account Switcher is one of those that just has the single... let me make sure I'm in the right folder. I don't want to delete Portal stuff. Account Switcher is just there by itself, so I'm just going to delete that, because that seems to be our trouble child. And let's just see what we get. Aha! So that was a pretty easy way to fix that error. So I just went in and deleted the plugin that I thought was naughty. The rest of them seem to want to work. In this section, whether they actually work in the forum is another question. For example, new points, I know we need to upgrade to the newer version, which is discussed in one of our previous videos. But let's see. So you never really know till you try, but you can. The core of it is pretty darn simple. I think you guys would feel comfortable enough upgrading, as long as you have backups. You really can't go wrong. So let's just, out of curiosity, go to the shop. Aha! There we go. That's a great way to start. It's a terrible way to start. Okay, so for some reason this version of the shop seems to be working. I wouldn't trust it though. My recommendation is when you go and upgrade your myBB from 1.6 to 1.8, I would honestly just deactivate and uninstall all your plugins. As long as, for Page Manager, if you have pages of content, obviously don't delete those because you need that content. Or make copies of the content is what I would recommend. Because this is old, this is unsupported. So I would definitely recommend deleting the plugins that you don't need, saving all the content. If it's something that you really have to keep, for example, new points, you don't want to delete everyone's points that they already have. So I would check out his forums to see how you can upgrade it. But the recent post forum index is probably going to be super broken if you try to move it over. So that's all I have for you guys today. Sorry if it was a bit confusing, but hopefully you are a little bit less intimidated than you were before. So best of luck with you. Let me know if you have any trouble upgrading your forum, and best of luck to you. All right, bye-bye.